My number 4. This might be on your worst.
Okay.
So my number 4 favorite episode, The Art of Death.
I'm not one of them. I'm not handsome. And I'm not strong.
But you have power. Your talent. Use it. Draw her.
No.
This is the comic book one?
That's one of my mid picks. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. I kind of was hoping.
I didn't mind that one.
Yeah, it's fun. Okay. Yeah. So the A plot follows Jack, who is a high school kid, and he's a tortured comic book artist pining for the hot girl in school named Joan. And Joan has an asshole, dumb jock. It's like so stereotypical boyfriend. He's like just literally exactly what you think he is the obnoxious, like, get away from my girl, you know, you wiener. Like, just so over the top. And it's like, why would this girl be with this fucking meathead? But whatever. The boyfriend sees that Jack actually has a crush on her because he starts like drawing like fantasy drawings of this girl, you know, and the boyfriend like finds the drawings and gets jealous. And he actually like fucks up Jack quite a bit. He like beats him up and then like tries to break his hand, which I thought was like, that's pretty dark.
Yeah.
Because like he knows that he's an artist. So he like intentionally tries to like break the guy's hand.
Wreck his bread and butter.
Yeah, like, I don't know. That was pretty dark. I mean, it intentionally I think it has to be that over the top so that you're like, man, Jack, I hope you fuck up that boyfriend guy.
Yep.
Yeah. So angrily, Jack draws this character, this like phantom type looking character. He's got like a white mask. It's like some sort of Avenger phantom character.
The relentless, powerful, merciless Avenger.
There it is.
Yep.
There it is.
Ha 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 ha.
But he looks like the Phantom.
Yeah.
Like he looks like sorry, not the Billy Zane Phantom. He looks like the Phantom of the Opera, kind of. He looks like the Phantom of the Opera. The Phantom of the Opera was jacked. Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a okay, sorry, yeah, I didn't continue finish the plot here. So he draws this character and he falls asleep and his creation comes to life.
Relentless, powerful, merciless Avenger!
He like looks at the drawing that he did and it's like it's cut out of the drawing all of a sudden, and then the character he created, the Phantom character, now manifests in the real world. And he coaxes Jack to draw his innermost desires and he will help them come to fruition. Which, that's a neat setup.
Yep.
I like the idea. I always love the idea of somebody creating a fictional character that then becomes real. That's always fun when you blur with those lines.
Right. But it's a trope that we've seen a few times before, right? Right.
We're going to get to this episode is very clearly inspired by something, and it's going to come up here in a second. But so what follows is like a series of like the Phantom just like keeps coaxing Jax to draw something. Jack will draw something. So like the first thing he draws is like, oh, the boyfriend gets like fucked up. And then in reality, the boyfriend gets killed in like a tragic, like some fucked up incident. It's such a dumb incident. It's like he draws the boyfriend like dying on a treadmill and then like he has a tragic treadmill accident. Who dies from a treadmill? It's like, it's so fucking cartoony. Like the idea that you could actually die from that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Do you remember this?
Oh yeah. I've got it in my notes. Treadmill, treadmill death.
Yeah. Cause that's a real believable thing that could actually happen. Yeah, there's some funny things in this episode, that's one of the reasons I like the episode is there's some goofier moments in it. There's like, so he draws the treadmill. We have the treadmill kill. There's some funny like illustrations he does of like the jock boyfriend. It has a very Revenge of the Nerds feel to it almost. I don't know if you got that at all. It's kind of like, because there's like him and his best friend, and they're kind of like the social outcast. The main guy's pretty nerdy, but there's also like the group of jocks. There's the scene where they like pants him in public.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a little bit. I know it's
Yeah.
not. It's like a little bit. I'm always for the nerds versus jocks plots. Like if you got that in your story, you got my interest. The I won't get it. Like what follows is basically just like the Phantom character just being like, draw more, father. I think he calls him father or master or something like that. He's like, you created me. Draw more and you can have her. I know you want, now that I've removed her boyfriend, you can have the hot girl, right? And I'll get to the twist ending in a second, but I want to comment, the actor playing the Phantom, this is probably why I like this A-plot. He is so fucking over. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah.
He is so over the top. The actor's name is it's Judd Omen.
You looked it up. Wow.
I did. He is Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Mm-hmm. He is Mickey. He's the escaped convict.
Oh, wow. So he's a
something.
veteran, a legend.
He's been in other things, but he is hamming it up so fucking much. It's literally just him every time. He's just constantly like cackling. Like he's basically acting like a comic book villain.
This isn't happening.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
What do you want?
What do you want?
Me, I don't understand.
You will.
And the costume is terrible as well.
It's terrible.
Yep.
And he's just like, ha, 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 ha. Draw, Mark, draw for me, Father. Bring your desires to life. Like, that is the level we got here. And it is hilarious. You will laugh in this. I also, the main character, Jack, and this is where I said, like, I think this episode is borrowing from something. If I had to guess, I would say this is highly influenced by Nightmare on Elm Street 5's character Mark, the comic book artist. It's very similar.
Which came first? I want to be, because I knew that this was going to come up.
Good question.
And
this is 89. So it would have been right at the same time.
The episode might have been first. But
possibly.
Either way, they were probably making the movie at the same time that the show was on the air. I like that idea.
It's very similar.
What you draw comes to life.
Yeah. But I mean, like in Elm Street 5, Mark creates the something Avenger. In this, he creates, what is it? The Ultimate Avenger or whatever.
The merciless giant. Yeah, whatever it was.
It's so similar. Like, but you know how much I love Mark. Mark's one of my favorite characters in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. So that works to its benefit. I like it. There's also some cool effects. When he gets pulled into the drawing, I thought that was a pretty cool effect. They do some okay stuff.
Yeah. And again, we've seen that in the Aha Take on Me music video.
Right.
So again, that one of the reasons why this one didn't finish higher for me. I didn't dislike it. I mean, it's sort of mid-table as you would expect. But I feel like we've seen this trope before. Drawing something, that drawing coming to life. And then, the twist ending was...
Yeah, so the Avenger guy convinces him to like draw the girl, and then like the Avenger guy just kidnaps the girl, but he kidnaps her in the drawing world. Yeah. There's like a separate world that's like in the world of, I don't know, like fiction.
But it's not.
It is. But it's not, but it is. Again, Freddy's nightmares. So she's being held prisoner in the drawing world, and then he shows up, and then for whatever reason, he has like a falling out with his creation, and then like the creation starts chasing him. And I kind of like his creative way of defeating him. The Avenger's like chasing him, and then he like takes out a sketch pad and he draws like a hole
in the ground.
Yeah. And then the Avenger guy just like falls in the hole. And then like he grabs onto his fingers, and then Max just like erases his fingers so that he just like falls into oblivion. That's kind of clever. And then he's like, he goes to Joan and he's like, don't worry, Joan. Everything will be all right. Except the twist is now he's wearing the Phantom outfit. What? Makes no sense.
Yep.
So it turns out he was doing the murders the whole time. Like it doesn't make any sense because how did he kill the boyfriend?
Like, I guess like he draws it, then he falls asleep and sleepwalks and doesn't realize that he's actually it was that's a very thin plot point. And almost like if you're going to put a twist in there, it's the twist that everyone expects. So it's not a twist.
I didn't expect it. I was like he is the drawing?
Like,
I'm
why,
that's so
why,
fucking stupid.
why have a twist?
It's like, what if I drew like a crazy cartoon cat and then like, oh, the twist is I dress up in a cat costume with sunglasses.
Yep.
Like, no, I didn't see that twist coming because it's so fucking stupid. It's a terrible twist. But, and it's like, that is the twist. That's the ending. Because then the B plot follows Joan.
Yeah.
Follows the victim. And she's in therapy. She's like in the hospital in therapy. Turns out this is months later now. And Joan has been, she was kidnapped by, like, in reality, she was kidnapped by Jack. And like that actually happened. So now she has like, she's suffering from like severe PTSD from basically being a kidnap victim.
That is actually one of the things that I did like about this episode is that the A and B stories did tend to flow a little better than some of the ones. It didn't feel as disjointed because it was the B story with her is almost a continuation of the A story with him.
Yeah, this one has a good connection for sure.
Yeah.
And Joan is a main character in the A plot.
Yep.
So yeah, no, it flows better. But so she's dealing with the trauma from the aftermath of the A plot, and she's like just coming out of therapy, and she's like, her doctor's like, are you sure you're ready, Joan? Like, you've made a lot of progress, but just to be safe. And she's like, don't worry, I'm going on some trip with my friends, and I don't really know the whole details here. I didn't quite get this, but Joan, she like goes to stay with her friend, I think it's Sherry, and they're staying at her family vacation home, I think. I don't think it's Joan's home. I think she's staying with her at her friend's place, and she's like staying there basically just to like, I don't know, detox and get reintegrated into like normal life. But then Sherry and her boyfriend and her boyfriend's friend, Jamie, are going on a ski trip, and they're going to be leaving Joan alone at the home. But I don't think it's Joan's house. It might be.
It's not.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's Sherry. I think it's the friend's I think it's the friend's like family vacation home.
Her psychologist like wants her to go and just be somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, go be with friends, right? And then so they
obviously abandon her.
yeah, so then they immediately leave, and they're like, are you sure you don't want to come skiing and like get out? And she's like, no, I just want to stay here. And the gimmick in this episode is that because of Joan's PTSD, she has developed severe claustrophobia to a cartoonish level.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what happens is they leave her at the house, and Joan's friend's boyfriend, Jamie, boyfriend's friend. So Joan has a friend named Sherry. Sherry has a boyfriend whose name I don't remember. He has a friend named Jamie who they also invited on this trip, and he just randomly shows up at the house when Joan's alone, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot something. Hey, Joan, it's Sherry's friend Jamie. Like, can you let me in? I just forgot something." And she like lets him in. He instantly turns into a fucking monster.
Right.
Where is it?
Where's what?
Look, I really don't have time for jokes. Just find the book and leave.
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure. I'm not gonna stay long. Just gonna use the bathroom, maybe make a few phone calls. So, did he keep you in something like this?
Excuse me?
The guy! You know, the guy who kidnapped you. I mean, did he stick you in the closet?
Like, the second he crosses that door, he is now a different character. Because first there's a little introduction and he's like, hey, I'm Jamie. I'm a nice guy. But then he comes back and he's just like instantly a piece of shit.
But see, here's where I think the show fails because I think she imagined that. I don't think it's real.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But again, Freddy's Nightmares does a terrible job of showing you when someone's asleep and when they're not. And this is a perfect example because the way this episode plays out, it's very believable. It's like, oh, all that shit happened.
Yep.
Because what follows is basically this Jamie guy just proceeds to torture her for like 15 minutes straight.
Right.
He basically just like, it's like one of those cringy, uninvited guest type scenarios where he's like, she can't get rid of this guy. And he's just like so over the top. He is hilariously over the top in this. Like,
he goes from 0 to 100 immediately.
Make me something to eat. And don't make me none of this crap either. I want something that's gonna roll off my tongue. Move!
Right.
And constantly.
Right.
Like, he's just constantly berating her and like teasing her and being cruel for like no reason. Right. He's like, what do you want me to leave? Huh? I thought we could get to know each other. And he like molests her. Like, I guess I can't say that word. He like, no, I don't know if I can say that word. I'm going to keep it in. I'm not sure. Maybe this video won't make any money now. But he's like just groping. He like gropes her and shit. It's so uncomfortable. And it just goes on.
And it's all in that closet. Like that closet is just, I've had a hard time finding a closet to be a scary beast.
Well, it's like, it's supposed to be claustrophobia, but they really only do like 2 shots of her actually having a claustrophobic thing. Yep. Most of it is just this dude torturing her for no reason, and that's kind of why I love this episode. In case you're wondering, again, it's one of my favorite episodes. And it's my favorite episode. It isn't good. It's a terrible episode. They're all fucking terrible. But it's one of those, it's so bad that it's good.
Yeah.
The first part, that Phantom character is just so fucking cheesy and over the top. I was howling laughing. Every one of his scenes made me laugh. Every delivery of his was great. In the B plot, the Jamie guy, I should have looked up the actor's name. All the credit in the world to him because he's such a piece of shit and he's just so needlessly evil.
Yeah.
He's like, at one point, I think she like wants to eat something. He's just like, I'll tell you when you're allowed to eat something. Like,
yeah, but then they completely undo it when you realize that it never happened because he shows up again for real. He knocks on the door. He actually comes by to pick up some book or something. And he's like the nicest guy.
Right. And I don't care. Who cares? It's Freddy's Nightmare. Who gives a shit?
But it's just like, okay,
there is no logic in half of these episodes. Who
like
cares?
the last 8 minutes I just watched, you just completely
Didn't
nullify
happen.
it.
No, but here's the thing, Mark. They did happen because they filmed it, so you got to watch it. So you got to watch a stupid thing happen.
Right, but even in the movies,
you can't buy into the plot. Like, their plots don't matter.
Even in the movies, though, when it's a dream, it happens. Right? Like, the whole idea is that in Nightmare on Elm Street, if you die in your dreams, you die for real.
Yeah, in Freddy's Nightmares, whatever the episode wants the dreams to do, that's what they do.
If it's a dream, sometimes it's just a dream.
So,
then why am I here?
Because it's Nightmare on Elm Street related. That's
right.
why.
The series.
Nightmare on Elm Street, the series, aka Freddy's Nightmares. Rolls right off the tongue. The only other positives I'll have to say, in the first A plot, I like the comic drawings.
Yep.
Whatever artists they got, those are pretty good, actually. There were some cool comic panels they did.
As a comic book kid, I'll give him credit for that.
I'm a sucker for anytime they do, and I've seen this shot done in many different shows and movies. Anytime they do the shot of the main character's fate is now captured perfectly in the final panel.
Right.
The final panel shot is Jack being like, no, and they have that panel.
Yeah.
Love it. That never gets old to me. Keep doing it.
Yep.
Creators, keep doing it. I love that. I love that idea.
It reminded me of
like you are now a victim to your creativity.
Reminded me of the Tales from the Crypt show, which came after this, which was heavily inspired Maybe not so much in the content, but in the formula, right?
Nope. Tales from the Crypt would not exist if not,
Not for this,
Freddy's
yeah.
Krueger. Freddy's Nightmares paved the way.
That's right.
It was a trailblazer.
Yeah, it was.
We would have never gotten we would have never gotten X-Files.
Yeah.
We would have never gotten Lost. The Sopranos, in fact.
Right, Breaking Bad. Let's just list every show that came after. Yeah. No, the Crypt Keeper would always sort of start with his little thing, and then he'd show you the cover of the EC Comics comic book, and then the characters would kind of take over, right?
Yeah.
Like, it would sort of blend into real life.
And that's fun. That's never not fun, right? I also like the little wraparound ending to this. I don't know if you remember this. So it ends with like, okay, yeah, it was all a dream, and Joan like has a nervous breakdown. But then they do this little mind fucky thing, and it makes no logical sense in the episode, but I still thought it was kind of clever.
Yep.
She's getting stretchered back into the hospital where she was at the beginning of the B plot, and she gets stretchered right by. Do you remember?
No, I don't.
She gets stretchered by herself from the beginning.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like
no,
they
I don't
do a
remember
little
that.
bit of a Mobius effect. So it's like she's getting stretchered back into the hospital now that she's like had a nervous breakdown, and then she goes right past her at the beginning of the episode getting discharged from the hospital.
So in the beginning of of that story, and she's being discharged, did they have a scene of somebody being wheeled in?
I don't think they did.
That would have
been
cool.
amazing,
Yeah.
but I don't think they did.
And in typical
And if
Freddy's,
they did,
yeah.
I will cut to that right now.
Yep. In typical Freddy's Nightmares fashion, it was you the whole time. They love this
Oh,
idea.
I know. Yeah, I know.